in the world. And the people in the Department of War said, yeah, oh, yeah, that was a joint strike. And then the message that Trump sent out an hour later from Truth Social was, should I say, shocking? Because he said that that Israel's unauthorized violent outburst towards Iran was not authorized by him. He had no prior knowledge. He did not consent. It was not a joint strike. It was Israel blowing the shit out of the second largest gas field in the world. And it was angry. You could read, it was angry, man. Yeah, no shit. So now by that point, of course, it was already too late because Iran's made it very clear that whatever you do to us, well, we're going to see that as the baseline for this new conflict. You bomb our military, we'll bomb your military. You bomb our civilians, we'll still bomb your military, but we won't care as much if civilians get caught. We won't specifically pick them out, but we will care less. So obviously, the very first strike, knowing this, the very first strike, we accidentally killed 188 children. Now, I don't know if I were a Shia Muslim and I were raised to believe that country Israel, the people in it, sacrificed children, and then I saw that the very first strike in their new war against me was to kill a bunch of children. The only thing that would do would be piss me off and make me realize that I'm not fighting other human beings. So the warrior mentality is, I mean, I can't speak for every country, but I can speak for most civilized Western Christian countries. And that is that war's a bitch. Sometimes it's got to happen. You go, you do what you have to do to defeat the enemy. You don't kill children for sport or for fun. You don't kill unarmed civilians that have nothing to do with the fight. We call them innocents. Somebody asked me a question, do I believe that Israel has all the rights to do what they're doing? As a sovereign nation, we can't stop them, but what they're doing without us there is suicide, and we shouldn't be there. Period. This is not our war. This is not our fight. This is not our problem. They've made it our problem by donating hundreds of billions of dollars. And if you think about that, they donate hundreds of billions of dollars to our congressmen and senators who turn around and approve hundreds of billions of dollars in aid to Israel. Okay. Whose fucking money is that? It's your money. It's my money. So we're giving our tax money to Israel, who's turning around and giving it back to our politicians. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so if you pay your taxes because you believe that we have to have a military to defend ourselves from fucking pick some phantom. But then if you also believe on top of that, that we need a federal government to, I don't know, guys, you fill this shit in. I mean, post office is nice. That's about it as far as I'm concerned. But you work from New Year's Day until April 15th. Okay? It's a little over a third of a year. You work for the first third of the year, and not a single penny of that is yours. Every single penny of it goes to the government, who then turns around and sends it to Israel, who turns around and sends it back to the people that they want to bribe. And that is how this system works right now. So you give money to Israel. Israel then uses it to bribe our politicians to send our sons and daughters to foreign countries to die. And they have for a quarter of a century now. I'm sorry. I don't like that plan. I don't necessarily think that that is the best way to run this country. Now, is that anti-Semitic? Well, the ADL will tell you it's anti-Semitic as hell. You either shove your head up their ass and start kissing, or you're a hateful human being and you should be banned from TikTok. Who, by the way, the owner of TikTok donates $100 million a year to the IDF. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. Wait a minute. Should we be a country like that? Oh, is it an either or? Somebody said that they hung a wrestler today, which I don't believe. I don't believe any of the news about Iran now, because they're the enemy. They're the Antichrist. They're the worst. They're the horrible people. They're the worst humans ever. They killed 2 billion people in protests last week alone. Billions. They burned them alive. And then they ate their charred remains. You didn't hear? Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. Footage? Well, no, of course you don't have footage of it. How could you have footage of it? It's a horrible dictatorship. Don't you people see? Don't you see? It's so simple. It's so simple. Pick a them, make them the other, make them the worst. And by the way, they're the Antichrist, huh? Right? Antichrist. They're evil. They're an evil dictatorship. They're the Antichrist. Well, let me ask you something. What do you think Shia Muslims would tell you about Christ? Because I know some Shia Muslims. I personally don't agree with the faith. It's not my faith. Ain't my gig, man. I don't buy it. Doesn't mean I'm going to kill you if you do, because I could care less. My guy told me, your guy told you, hey, maybe your guy's right. Shit, maybe I'm wrong. Guess what? We're going to find out. Well, anyone against Christ, well, Darlene, that's the most anti-Semitic, hateful, anti-Jewish thing you've ever said. You hate Jews. Clearly. Look at what she just said. It says here, anyone against Christ is antichrist. Well, the Muslims believe that Christ was a prophet of God. It says so in the Quran, that he's a prophet of God, and a very wise prophet at that. So who believes that Christ is a piece of shit burning in a lake of shit right now, this very moment? Raise your hand if you know the answer to that, because if you know who thinks Christ was a false prophet and dealt in black magic, then you just throw your hand up there, because by the way, if you raise your hand, you are a Jew hating anti-Semite. Now, why? Well, because you're saying that they hate Jesus. Well, of course they hate Jesus. Come on, guys, pull your heads out of your asses. Why wouldn't they hate Jesus? Jesus is a false prophet. He took a bunch of Jews and led them astray, led them down the wrong path. And now they're all going to hell. And by the way, now there's 2 billion of those stupid sons of bitches running around the world. It's only 15 million Jews. Like, probably in real numbers, there's probably 5 million real Jews. Because you got to remember, Reform Jews are full of shit. Those guys, I wouldn't eat them if they had barbecue sauce on them. They're not worth it. And by the way, that's not my opinion, because I actually like a lot of Reform Jews. I think they're pretty cool. However, if you're a Haredi, ultra-Orthodox Jew, and you don't ever cut the curls on the sides of your head. By the way, my live access has already been taken off on my main channel. And the reason is, let's find out. Misinformation. Okay, well, I'm just going to say here, what can I do? Do you agree with this decision? No, clearly not. It doesn't contain any misinformation, because I'm going to appeal. And by the way, let's have fun with this, guys. My live does not contain the content mentioned. Okay, and help us understand your appeal. I was quoting the Talmud. Okay, with an exclamation mark. And yeah. Now, here's the funny part. If they think that quoting the Talmud is misinformation, that is incredibly anti-Semitic. That is terrible. All right. Well, this is very interesting. Let's see. They're reviewing it now. They'll notify me with an update. Oh, that should take just long enough to sort of slow me down a bit. And the reason is, that's what you do. When you don't like what somebody's doing, you just kick them off, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Just kick them off, break their stride, make sure that the people who are listening stop listening. And this, my friends, is the new world of ultra censorship. Ultra censorship. Now, hopefully, we'll get, I'll start to get more people on my YouTube channel, which is also big and corn-fed. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Boy, that's an understatement, isn't it, folks? Filtered. Filtered does sound better than censored, though, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. Let's see. No, it's still saying I'm censored. Yeah, normally it takes them about an hour or so before they actually say, okay, don't worry. It's we're not censoring you anymore. So hopefully those folks, some of them, know about my Big and Corn-Fed channel on YouTube. They'll go there, because clearly this is something we need to talk about. By the way, let's see, and just so we're clear, I believe. Let's see. I believe that the prime minister, now we know who really controls TikTok. Oh yeah. There we go. We're getting some people coming over to YouTube. By the way, just so we're clear, I want you guys to know that there are certain people that you can make certain jokes with, right? What exactly are you trying to say? Oh, well, what I was trying to say before that got me kicked off of my main channel was very simple, that if you're anti-Christianity, if you believe that Christ was a bastard and a worthless black magic false prophet, then you are anti-Christ. Now, I don't think that. The Muslims don't think that. There's only one group of people in the world who think that. And so they would be the antichrists, plural, not singular, plural. What's interesting is there was somebody, I don't know, one of these, one of these people who sees the future kind of thing, who said that the Antichrist would come as a defender and would be wearing a blue suit. So I saw Netanyahu before he died, and he was wearing a blue suit, and of course he was talking about how they are helping us. They're helping us. Israelis help us. I don't know if you know that or not, but they do. They give us hundreds of millions of dollars a day. Wait, no, they don't. What do they do for us? They come to think of it, Israel doesn't do anything for us ever. He's here with me now. Jesus? Oh. Tell him I would really like to have a beer with him. Really like to have a beer with him. So yeah, I'm looking to see if they're gonna put me back on. You gonna put me back on? No, maybe, no. Yeah. Well, that is too bad. Maybe not tonight. I'll be able to go back on soon, but oh well. Okay. So what do you guys want to talk about? Oh, how about this? Let's can I just bring this up? Look, this is not real. This can't be real, okay? So please help me out. Help me out with this. This cannot be a true story. And I couldn't bring myself to watch it because when I saw that the prime minister of Japan was at the White House and sitting with Donald Trump, and I heard the story, I thought I can't bring myself to see it if it's true. Did Donald Trump actually make a joke about Pearl Harbor in front of the Prime Minister of Japan today? Because from what I understand, they said, why didn't you notify a lot of your allies before you did this? And he said, well, we operational security, blah, 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 we wanted to make it a surprise. And, obviously, I'm here with the Prime Minister of Japan, they know about the, importance of surprise. See, that's the thing, is that these guys, somebody on TikTok's mentioning that they think it's an insult. It's not a joke. It was an insult. And I would say, yes, I would say that in my opinion, if somebody brought up a really painful memory, a mistake that I had made many, many years ago, let's say in our relationship, and they brought it up thinking it was going to be funny, but clearly it was it was something that I was sorry had happened. I would be, I would probably have to reevaluate what I thought about our relationship. Are they really friends, or did they take some satisfaction in embarrassing me? Well, Mike, that's a problem that he's never been empathetic, because as the leader of the free world, that's one of your jobs. See, people are like, well, we didn't hire him to be this, we just hired him to be effective. Well, he's not that either. Not my feelings. Do I look Japanese, meathead? Seriously, pull your head out of your ass. This is about the United States and our standing on the world stage. When our president gets up there and acts like a redneck dipshit clown and makes a joke that embarrasses the United States, that's not good for anybody. Because the last thing we need now, that we just fucked the Japanese people so hard, is to insult them. Well, guess what? Maybe you're just that guy that doesn't know when he should be embarrassed. Oh, but the Japanese have actually been pretty damn good allies. They've been buying our debt now for 35 years that they didn't need to buy. And they've been buying it to help us. Yeah, yeah. I could tell. I saw the clip without sound because I just didn't want to hear it. Um, they've actually bought, I believe it's even more than that. Now, recently, yes, but over the last 30 years, remember, we have bills, notes, and bonds. Bills are usually short term, 6 month, 1 year. Notes are usually up to 10 years, and then bonds are 30 years. So overall, I know that at one point China had well over $1 trillion. So community flag comments detected. That's weird. Gold and silver tanked because of the war. Not as much gold, but specifically because silver is also a metal that's used for basically everything that has to do with the Green New Deal and technology. And so $2K a month for, yeah, well, we can't fix healthcare, but we can afford to make sure that the Israelis get free healthcare. Free healthcare for you and your kids. Doesn't cost you a dime. State sponsored, well, not really state sponsored, you and me sponsored. We're paying for their healthcare. And they get to go to college for free. So has Trump protected the petrodollar by attacking Iran? No. As a matter of fact, he has completely and totally fucked us. Completely. The reason silver is dropping is because in order for silver to be used in industry, there has to be industry. We just cut off most of, if not all of, Japan and China's access to energy. China was getting 80% of their energy from Venezuela. We took it away just like that. They said, all right, well, yeah, okay, that's their half of the world. We get it. That's their doctrine, whatever. We're just going to get it from the Middle East. And then all of a sudden, boom, we started a war in the Middle East and we shut down the entire Middle East. And by the way, when I say shut down the Middle East, obviously Iran allowed oil tankers that were Chinese flagged to go through the Straits of Hormuz. They're not stopping them. The problem, of course, is that you can only get so many through per day when the entire Straits of Hormuz are now mined. So What happens when you shut down the second largest economy in the world and the third largest economy in the world? When you shut them off? Well, we're going to find out. Minesweepers, that's very funny. Have some more Lucky Reefer. Think about it, minesweepers. You want to run minesweepers through the Straits of Hormuz? Really? And how do you think that's going to work? Iran's had Silkworm anti-ship missiles for 30 years. Silkworms are no joke, dude. These are going to have all the brand new hottest shit software from China, because China likes Iran. They get their oil from Iran. They're friends with Iran. Iran poses no imminent threat to them either. So now you've cut off. Oh, and by the way, well, here's the thing. I don't love Iran. I've met some pretty damn cool Iranian people. Like the Persians are pretty cool. Well, you know, the ones that aren't total like heretic, crazy people that are all about religion. But you could say that about anybody. I mean, most of the Christians who walk up and say, "Hi, my name's so-and-so, and I just want you to know I love Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian." Yeah, guess what? Grab your fucking wallet, because they're about to try to screw you out of it. That's just the way all religions are. When they wear their religion on their sleeve, they're just lying sacks of shit. And they're just trying to lower your guard so they can steal your money. And they're all the same. That ain't Muslim, that ain't Jew, that ain't Christian. That's just dishonest. So, but have I met people from Iran that I liked? Hell yeah. Does probably 70% of the country just want to put all this shit behind them and get on with their lives? Yep. Do they like Sunni Muslims? Nope. Do you know why? Because they feel like Sunni Muslims don't act very Muslim. It's all about money for them. It's all about pretending. Well, I don't know if it is or not. I'm not Muslim. I don't know all of the inside traditions, etc. I know that they haven't gotten along literally for 1500 years, whatever it's been. Of course, how can you not like people who talk to dogs? Talking to dogs is like, sometimes it's better than talking to other people. So the reason the silver dropped is because we're not going to be making a lot. We're not going to be making a lot. AI just took a huge step back, which may be a good thing. All of our high tech just took a huge step back. Our economy just took a huge step back. We just guaranteed, and I mean guaranteed, that depressions hit in a dozen countries. At least a dozen countries will now guaranteed have depressions, including our neighbors, Canada. Guaranteed. They just lost the equivalent of 250,000 workers if it had been the United States. Just in the last week. They are teetering on the edge of collapse financially. Now, do I think that it's their own fault? Most Canadians, no. I fucking love Canadians, man. Look, if you can drink whiskey, you know anything about hockey at all, and you're just not an asshole, they're easy to get along with. They're cool people. They're elites, however, the ones who know better, the ones who aren't the dumb commoners, you know, the Canucks, the ones who are educated, who decided to bring all of those foreigners in and give them all welfare, because it's all going to work out when two completely separate and completely opposing cultures are pushed into the same space. What could possibly happen? Now, that's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. The same people who shoved all of these backwards ass people into Canada shoved those same people into Europe. Did I just call them backwards? Is that a horrible thing for me to say about them? Well, you tell me their country, and I'll tell you what they've done recently to push forward the evolution or the progress of the human race. Here, I'll start. Somalia. Somalia. Oh, what could possibly go wrong with bringing a bunch of inbred dipshit goat herders? And I mean inbred. With an average IQ of a whopping 70, making Forrest Gump look like an astronaut. What could possibly go wrong with bringing those folks who, by the way, absolutely hate government of any kind, don't trust government whatsoever, and really don't like you, especially if you're white, because white men are the root of all evil. Well, I hope for your sake, Jackson, that you're not the typical lying, thieving rat of a Somali who just wants to steal every government program possible before he moves back. Because that would suck for both of us. Although more for me than you, because you get to go back to Somalia with a huge amount of money. That sucks. He said, that's my family. Look, man, I get it. Okay. I grew up in Los Angeles. My dad married an Armenian woman. And I can tell you this, these Armenians were some of the coolest people I've ever met. They love to party, have fun. They're, really cool people. They lied, they cheated, they stole, all from the government. Like, you don't lie and cheat from each other. You don't do that. Like if you're part of the family, you don't steal from the family. Now, if you're outside the family, well, then you're just part of the government, and you can't trust the government. That literally was their attitude. That's why I know, because I've watched it from the inside of the family growing up as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old. Yep, that's when we hauled ass. when my dad caught my Armenian stepmom abusing me, he said, "Wait a minute, motherfucker. I'm the only one that gets to do that." Literally, that's exactly what happened. He walked in on us and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I was just checking his shirt." And he said, "No, you were ripping his shirt off." Yep, that's what she was doing, because it was my favorite shirt. And somehow or another, I'd managed to rip it a little bit, like right here. And I went to Mary, it was her name, Matosian. And I said, "Is there any way that we can sew this?" And she put her finger in it. She went, "Rip. Nope, not now." And I remember standing there looking up at her, because I wasn't 6'7" yet, looking up at her and thinking, why? Why is she always doing shit like this? And then I looked over her shoulder, and my dad was standing behind her in the doorway of my bedroom. And I thought, oh, what's he doing home? This is going to be interesting. Whew. Well, now, I don't know about all Armenians, but I can tell you that, yeah, there's some that, Berj, Nelbandian. Berj was my cousin. Berj, the last time I hung out with Berj, he was 50 years old. I think somewhere right around 45 or 50. He had a cold, so he was sick. and he was going to work out, so I went to work out with him, and he bench pressed 505 pounds 5 times with a flu or cold or whatever it was. He was like, you know, he's like, oh, okay, I don't feel good, but I still have to work out. And I remember as he's doing 505, I thought to myself, he was a lot older than me. And I was like, this guy is a fucking animal. Like, I cannot, and I'd already been in and out of the Marine Corps at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, man, can you imagine coming across a platoon of these fuckers in the Caucasus Mountains somewhere? Like, that would not be fun. You would not want to do hand-to-hand combat with a bunch of guerrillas like this. By the way, Berge was an absolute genius, total genius. Loved explosives. Nobody knows what Berge ended up doing. Bam Bam is what we called him. No, Boom Boom. That's right, Boom Boom. And the reason we called him Boom Boom was because one of his first explosive experiments, he blew the roof, the ceiling out of his bathroom at his dad's house. He got the shit beat out of him for that one. But he kept doing it, and then eventually nobody knew what Boom Boom did for a living. He made a lot of money, had a hell of a antique or classic car collection. I think Boom Boom worked for the Department of War at doing something, but he's a very quiet guy. He didn't say much. But yeah, that whole side of the family was interesting. There was Matosians and Nalbandians and just tons of them. Great people, super fun people. But, I would say that my experience with them made me understand that Middle Easterners, just like us, they got issues just like we do. Some of their issues are different than ours. Some are exactly the same. But overall, people are people wherever you go. So, except this tiny little group of people in Israel who believe that they're better than all of us, like way better than all of us. See, I don't know if that was a good answer or a goyd answer, because I am a goyim. You're goyim too. We're all goyim. When you come from a lawless place, it makes it hard to respect laws. When you come from a place where if you touch a woman, you're going to now fight to the death with her husband or her brother or her father. If you're not her husband and you touch her, you are in huge trouble. And that's the mentality of the people and where they come from. Can you imagine going from that to, say, I don't know, the Rhine in part of Germany, with a bunch of blonde girls walking around in tiny little bikini bottoms and no tops? When you came from a place where if a woman shows her ankles, she's being a whore. Like, you don't show your ankles. And then to go from that, so here's my point. Clearly you don't have that. You just don't do that. You don't go from one to the other. If you individually choose to, like if you, let's say this guy, Jackson Davis, let's say Jackson decides, you know what? I'm tired of this Somali pirate bullshit. I'm out of here. And for whatever reason, he has the means to leave. Let's say he's one of these guys that hits, 130 IQ, goes through all the testing, nails it, and somebody says, hey, let's scoop this guy up and we can train him to be all kinds of good shit, engineer or whatever. He's choosing to leave his society, his way of life behind it and go. If I just scoop up a bunch of people from the slums of God only knows, the Moog, I just take a bunch of people out of Moog and stick them in Frankfurt. Oh, God, I can't. Like that. There's no way to really quantify Mogadishu to Frankfurt, especially if it's angry young men who hate government. Now, go to a country where they've been under colonialism for a while and they have a deep, seated hatred of everything white. Everything white. They've been taught since the day they were born that white people are absolutely, unequivocally, under every circumstance, better than them. By default, genetically. And by the way, they hate you. They look down on you. They don't even think of you as one of them because you're darker. Take that person after 20 years of that and drop him off in Frankfurt. Every time somebody looks at him, what he sees is, oh, you think you're better than me, motherfucker? Oh, you think that you're better than me? No. Maybe the guy's thinking, damn, that guy's black as the ace of spades and super handsome. Like, wow, he must be from Africa because he's not going to get that dark in a country where it's cloudy 300 days a year. That might be what just went through that guy's mind. But what this kid's going to see is, oh, you think you're fucking better than me? Is that why you're looking at me? Okay, so we simply don't have this problem if we don't force them together. So then the question is, who forced them together? You see, that's the difference. I'm not talking about good and bad. I'm talking about doing what you have to do to survive. And when you come from a place where you have to do what you have to do, like, I'll give you an example, and poverty is a perfect example. You come from a place where survival that's like the best metric. If you said to somebody, what would make you happy? Oh, just knowing that I'd never have to worry about food again. Okay, but in a perfect world, I'd never have to worry about food again, and I could have a phone. That's it. Yeah. Car? No, I don't even know what I would do with a car. What about a motorcycle? No. Would you be happy if you had a private jet? They can't even go through their head. That won't work. So to take people that someday hope to maybe have enough so that they don't ever have to concern themselves with starvation again. Yeah. How about a house? Well, now what about a nice house? Like, in the United States, we have these little McMansions. They're about 5,000 square feet. They're usually 4 or 5 bedroom, but they're 5,000 square feet. What the fuck do you do with 5,000 square feet? Well, you got to have a huge entryway. Huge. If you walk in and it's not impressive, it says a lot about you. Well, that's a funny thing over here. 5 acres for a lot of people, it's like, what, 5 acres? No, if I had a 5,000 square foot lot, that's plenty. But you got a 4,000 square foot house. Yeah. So a 20 by 50 backyard, 50 by 200 backyard. Oh yeah, that's plenty. That's big. It's like, oh my God, this is terrifying. But that's the United States. The United States people here are just, what they think is happiness is insanity. But if I take somebody who has no respect for authority at all, and I stick them into the middle of an authoritarian regime like the United States, it ain't gonna work. Zero out divide and daily allowance with no carryover. I got 3,300 square foot house in Colombia. Now that sounds about right. That sounds fun. Yeah, they hit one of our F-35s. It's not a big deal though. I mean, because they're stealth, so they didn't know that they hit it. I mean, obviously they knew they hit it, but they didn't really, really know that they hit it because it's stealth and you can't hit it. Like, how can you hit an F-35? It's a stealth fighter, man. It's about as stealthy as a fart in church. With all the winds of war, silver going to suffer. Well, it's not the winds of war. It's the fact that we have literally destroyed the world's economy. When I say we, not you and I, because we're not fucking idiots. But apparently, the echo chamber that dipshit lives in, and I'm calling him dipshit from now on. Okay? I have never been more disappointed in a political figure in my life than I am with this orange-haired baby. Dumb fuck. And here are a couple reasons. Number one, he's protecting everybody in the Epstein files. You know what? Fuck you. No, fuck you. You want to protect a bunch of pedophiles who might be doing a lot worse than just the pedophile stuff. Like, the pedophile stuff is disgusting. But that might be the least disgusting thing that they do. Oh my God, I just got a warning for bullying and harassing the President of the United States. He's got thick skin, trust me. So he's protecting pedophiles that could actually be murderers. They could be eating them. Who knows? I don't know anymore. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. You just brought up something out of totally left field. Jesus never got married. In order to be a rabbi, you had to be married, number one. Number two, most importantly, when Jesus' mother yells at him because the wedding party that they're at has run out of wine, there was only one person in ancient Israeli culture that was responsible for wine at a wedding: the groom. So for him to then go and turn water into wine so that all of his guests had wine means he was the groom. Now, who did he marry? How did he marry? What? None of that shit matters to me. I'm not one of these people that's like, well, that's not what it says. What I care about is, what did he say? What was said about him? The miracles, walking on what? Come on. I don't need magic. Don't give me magic. What did the guy say? This is what he said. Okay, yeah, that's God. Anybody with an IQ over 140 is going to see that one. And that's me. I see it. I see what he said is absolutely unequivocally what God would say. All right, then he's the man. Well, but what if I don't care. Well, what if he didn't hang on a cross? I don't care. What if he never walked on? I don't give a shit. I don't care. None of that matters to me. What matters is, was he who he said he was? Yeah, absolutely. The Red Letter Bible. Jesus' own words, exactly. Well, that's the point. Is there are a lot of people who believe he did, and that Mary Magdalene, being his favorite, might have been that person. Now, what does that say to me about the divinity of Jesus Christ? If he was sent here to be a representative of what God wants us to be like. Holy shit, my live access was removed for that. This is absolutely nuts. I just got kicked off. Misinformation. Do I agree with this? No, I don't. My live does not contain misinformation. I mean, come on. What the fuck is going on? Like, literally, does the do the ancient texts show that the people responsible for making sure that guests had wine were the grooms at a wedding? Yep. My live does not contain the mention the notice. That's exactly right. Just quoted the Bible. Oh boy. All right. Well, there you go. So they let me go for 51 minutes on that one. That's kind of crazy, right? And then let's see. How long was on this one? Hey, look at that. I'm allowed to go live on this one again. See, this is what they're doing, man. It's just a game. It's just a freaking game. All right. So, boom. I'll go live on there. It's just nuts. And this one, they'll take this restriction off in just a minute, too. Hey, Bo. Okay. Thought I heard my kid wandering around out in the hallway somewhere, but obviously he is nowhere near the studio right now, which is awesome. He's with his sister, and they're out doing fun stuff, whatever. I know they were going to go to do a little shopping, whatever that means. All right, so I'm back. I was kicked off of TikTok for misinformation about 30 minutes ago. Now I'm back. Bo, what did you want to talk to me about? Are you hungry?
No, I just wanted to say hi.
Okay, hello.
Hello, I'm back.
He is outside. Okay, will you be hungry?
Yes, very soon.
Very soon. Good. Me too. All right. Yeah, it's not like I'm going to starve to death. I could probably go about 3 weeks without eating right now and then be fine. But okay, so yeah. So they kicked me off for misinformation for quoting the Talmud. Tic Tac. Those are your people. That's your book. Do your homework. My God. All I did was quote it. I don't hate Jesus. All I said was the people who wrote the Talmud do. But I've got a way of talking about this that I think will be more effective, because when I refer to the people who wrote the Talmud, the people who are very anti-Jesus, who hate Jesus, who hate Christ, they're anti-Christ, I will simply put on my hat. And then you will know for who it is I am speaking of. Because clearly, if you don't know, now you know. Sarah Medic 911. Yes, farmer, the Jewish people wrote the Talmud. Not just any Jewish people, not not like your Jewish plumber or your Jewish shoemaker. It was actually a group of very learned rabbis, the most learned rabbis ever. They compiled what we call the Babylonian Talmud. Now, the Babylonian Talmud was very simple. It is a group of rabbis who have read the Torah, and then they give you their interpretation of what it means. Their interpretation is now canon. It's the rule. Like, if this is what Rabbi Schmeckel says, then this is what it is. If Rabbi Finkelstein says this, then Finkelstein's always right, because he's been studying the Talmud for 90 years now. Here's the interesting part. The Babylonian Talmud is considered by all living rabbis, and all living rabbis for the last 1,000 years, to be the most concise, the most accurate, the most godly version. I don't know why the hair on this temple seems to be growing faster than this one, but I do know that it says in Leviticus that if I cut the hair on this one, I must be put to death. What? Did you know it says that? Did anybody know that? The Bible's very specific about some of this stuff. If I get in a fist fight, if I'm having a little dust up with some boys at the pub, my wife is totally allowed in the Torah to jump in, help me out. However, if during this little dust up, my wife is to accidentally touch the genitals of any of these other guys that aren't me, she must be put to death immediately. Ali Al-Wazir. That sounds like the type of name that might give you some idea about how Judaism works, because clearly the Jews hate me. They don't hate me because I'm wearing this hat or because I find some of the stuff they teach funny or horrifying. They hate me because they hate Christ. It says so in their Talmud. It's very clear that they hate him. Very, very, very clear. That's what I just got kicked off of here 20 minutes ago for. As I said that, they kicked me off for misinformation. I quoted the Talmud in my appeal, and they immediately put me back up. So, I'm just not making this stuff up. I'm just quoting. It says that he's actually burning in a lake of excrement and something else, but it's kind of gross. It's a male byproduct, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that plus excrement, and he's burning in it. Jesus is forever. So, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel as though if I'm going to talk about the Talmud, I'm going to talk about how the chosen people feel about you, Goyim, you Gentiles. I should wear this hat. It just seems right. Wait, who said that? That your false prophet, Jesus, is burning in a lake of excrement? The chosen people. You didn't know that? Guys, please, can we... Look, I feel like it's my job and my brethren. I'm Polish. My mother was born in Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu It's not his real last name. It's like Polanski or some shit. But anyway, his mother was born in Poland too. So he and I have a lot in common because we're both, me and Benny. No, that's not changing. That will never change. I'm not sure what you mean by that's changing now. Like, when you say like the way that the Haredi Jews feel about us, like Chabad, the way that they feel about it, brother. If you're Muslim, they hate you with a passion, just like they hate me with a passion, a deep, burning passion, I might add. Look at the way they treated little girls in Gaza. Vermin, running targets. Lawyer your way around that any way you want, brother, but when you look down the barrel of a rifle in anger, I have. When your intention is to end someone's life and you're looking down the barrel, you're looking through the optics, and you're looking at a little girl, you're not a human. Sorry. You're just not one of us. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're fucking Hindu, Taoist. I'm looking, if I'm looking at the optics, through the optics, at a little girl, that's a little girl. It's not a combatant. It's not a bad guy. It's just not. It's just, it's hard to even wrap your head around, really. Well, I mean, some Polacks call each other Polacks, and I don't think it's a slur. It's kind of like saying Canuck. Yeah, but I didn't think Canucks cared. What is on my head? Well, clearly, it's my hat. I have to wear a hat, and I have to have my curls so that people will take what I say seriously about the Talmud, because it's quite an interesting little book. It's actually a big book, but what's in the book is what's amazing. You can call me Rabbi Gronkowski. Let's see. Moving on. So yeah, my point is this. I got kicked off of here because I was talking about how if you don't believe in Jesus, that's cool. People are like, oh, I don't believe in Jesus. All right. Well, I hope he believes in you. I mean, if he doesn't, well, no harm, no foul, right? But to say, I do believe that there was a historical Jesus and that he's such a piece of crap that he's burning in human excrement and semen for eternity, because that's where someone who lies and is a false prophet who practices black magic should end up. Well, now, okay, I'm sorry. That's not just dismissing him. That's not saying I'm not sure about whether or not he was really speaking for God. That's hateful. That's really hateful. So I'm going to say that you're against him, right? You're against him. That would make you anti. So if you're antichrist, should I send you money? Should I support you? Should I wait? What should I do if you're antichrist? If I'm a Christian and you're antichrist, how should I handle that? Because Muslims aren't antichrist. They can't be. How can Muslims be antichrist? They actually talk about him in the Quran. They say that he was a prophet of God. Yeah, me too. I actually think that too. Okay, so we agree. Yeah. Okay, but what about these other guys? What about these guys? Well, no, they don't dismiss him. They truly hate him. Who is Jesus to me? He's my bro. Kind of like a big brother, like a mentor. Certainly not somebody to fear. That's dumb. If you're afraid, it means you must be doing something really bad. So, no, I think of Jesus as like a really cool big brother, the kind that could whoop your ass if he needed to, but chooses not to, chooses to, help you learn from his mistakes instead of making them all yourself. That's, and that's just, yeah, a good teacher. But to me, more than a teacher, because I've had some good teachers. But I don't, I'm not one of these people who just loves everybody. No, I should be. You're right, D-Fresh. I should be. But it's against my religion. I'm not allowed to drink. Or am I? Jews can drink. They drink that horrible wine, Manischewitz. He didn't make any mistakes. He left out the whole thing about not honoring the people who hate you. I wish he had actually written that down. Nice. Yes, I am Goyim. I'm a Gentile. And just in case, what's going on? Trump is what's going on. Trump's decided that he's going to run around. Oh, my map is gone. He's decided that he's going to, oh, you know what? I'll use this. Okay, so this thing right here. Okay, if we start over here, like in this area, and then we go here, and then we go to this area and over here, and then all of this and this area here, all of this is now called fucking Trump land, okay? And Trump's going to just run around and shit everywhere. Oh, hey, look, I'm going to shit on this. Oh, run down here. Oh, I'm going to steal this guy. President, oh, you're a Christian? Fuck you. You didn't kiss Israel's ass. What about you, Vice President? No? All right, well, we'll replace you later. But for now, you'll do. Hey, what's this little island over here full of really nice people that's been starving for fucking years? Oh, well, you know what? You guys are communist. No, they're not. Well, but they're communist enough. No, they're not. They're not communist. As a matter of fact, Cuba is trying to get people to start small businesses. Oh, well, you're not doing it fast enough. Okay, that's a lie. Okay, look, Rubio fucking swore to the Cubans to get elected that he would destroy your country. Oh, okay, good. Let's move on then. Oh, hey, where's Ecuador? Oh, look, bullying and harassment. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm bullying and harassing the president of the United States. Look, Don, I'm sorry. Okay, sweet cheeks. I love you. I just wish you wouldn't run your wiener cleaner in front of people so much. Just don't say anything until your term is up. Please, just stop. Yeah. He went from surprising me and making me feel like this might be the guy to saying things like he might bomb Iran a little bit more. And his quote was, just for fun. Are you kidding me? Wait. Let's take a beat here. Let's get serious. The president of the United States said he might drop more bombs on Iran just for fun? He said that. I saw him say that. So this is fun? These billions and billions of dollars. This is fun? The fact that you're about to get my Marines killed? This is fun? Let me tell you something there, grad school. This ain't fucking fun. This ain't fucking fun to me. This is no joke. This ain't fun. My idea of fun? My idea of fun would be maybe getting covered in baby oil along with 30 or 40 of the hottest women I've ever met in my life, and then trying to play football. Just touch football, clearly. But that to me sounds like a good time. Dropping bombs on innocent civilians, accidentally or otherwise, that's not fun. Lying about Joe Kent and saying that a guy with 11 fucking deployments and 6, count them, 6. Yeah, I had to use both hands because I'm not Netanyahu. 6 Bronze Stars. Lost his wife in a suicide bomber attack because she was hardcore like him. She just didn't make it. You don't get any more fucking hardcore. What more can a man give to his country than 11 deployments where he served with honor, giving up a wife that he loved and trying to raise 2 children by himself while being the head of counterterrorism for the United States of America? And when he finally, as somebody who actually knows what the fuck is going on, says he's seen enough and that he believes in the president, but it's time to do something. And the president says, oh, he seems like a nice guy, but he doesn't know what he's doing. When Kash Patel, who still owns $5 million worth of stock in a Chinese company. Tic Tac can't belong to a Chinese company because we don't trust them. But the director of the FBI owns $5 million worth of stock in a CCP-controlled company, and he refuses to sell it? Fuck you. That's what I say. I say fuck them all. I'm not going to forget about Epstein. I'll never forget about the Epstein files. I'll never forget that Pam Bondi sat in front of the United States Congress and the Senate and lied straight to their faces. There are no victims. There are no traffickers. There's nobody. There are no files. No files. She said no files. There are no files. No files. How many fucking times does she have to say no files before somebody says, what about the 7 million files? How the fuck am I supposed to read 7 million files, Nene? 3.5 have been released. The other 3.5 million, she said no. Congress, who she works for, said you must release them. She said no. Wait, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. But that's what she did. But Congress makes the laws. I mean, anybody who's studied our government knows that. Congress makes the laws. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means that the people who work at the Department of Justice work for Congress. Yeah, absolutely. They work for Congress. Okay. So if the people at the DOJ work for Congress and Congress passes a law that says you have to release these certain set of files, then you have to release them. Yep, that's absolutely how the law works. And she still said no. On what grounds? Oh, it's just, it's not stuff you want to see. No, I don't even need to see it. I need to know that my congressman saw it. I need to know that my senator saw it. Yeah, no, they don't need to see it either. It's not good. It's not good for them. And besides, there's nothing in it. Okay, because that's what you said before. There was no files. No files. 7 million pages of files. What's the big dust up here, fucker? Like, what's the difference? It's all the same. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Bottom line is, I'm done. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. And people are like, some people say, well, if you don't love him, leave it. Wait, no. If you don't love it, make it better. Don't leave it. That's a cop-out. That means you've given up on the government. That's my government. Who owns the government? I do. You do. That's our government. Those fucking pathetic little weasels work for us. Those parasites, those subhuman cockroaches are our subhuman cockroaches. Lindsey Graham running around shooting off his mouth. If the people of South Carolina weren't completely and totally idiotic, I mean, God almighty, what makes you vote for this guy for 23 years? You stupid sons of bitches. Like, who could do that? Hey, you know what? I don't know. People in Kentucky, they voted for turtleneck over and over and over and over and over. And it's like, I don't even remember his fucking name. I just remember that he is literally, other than Lindsey Graham, he is one of the most embarrassing public figures I've ever seen. His wife, actually, her family owns the largest shipping firm in China. I mean, they are like this with the Chinese Communist Party. And she's married to a senator who is constantly trying to get us to go to war with whoever in the Middle East. Wow. Mitch McConnell, that's right. Mitch McConnell. Thank God his brain finally just took a shit on him. I mean, I think he's still there, but he's not voting. 39 trillion in debt. How do we come out of it? We don't. We don't come out of that. We don't come out of it. We default on our obligations. The world says, well, you guys had your fucking fun. And then somebody else gets a turn at being in charge, probably the Chinese. Am I excited about that? The idea that we don't have to have 10 times more military than anyone else, that excites me, because I'm tired of living in a third world country with first world problems. That's it. I'm tired of this bullshit, man. This is not the greatest country on earth. Not for me. Maybe for people with $100 million it is. But if you're paying outrageous rent, an outrageous mortgage, an outrageous car payment, an outrageous insurance payment, shitloads to send your kids to school, because you can't trust the fucking normal school. You got to have a charter school. And that's going to cost a ton of money. I mean, all these things, you got soccer and fucking all these other football and $2,000 worth of equipment. And, God forbid they decide they want to rollerblade because that means your son's gay. I mean, Jesus, it's just one thing after another. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get fixed, but nobody's going to fix it. They're not going to fix it. And the reason they're not going to fix it is because they know that you're too fat and scared. And fat, scared people don't do anything. They talk a lot of shit, but they don't do anything. When was the last time somebody threw a brick? Oh, that's right, because Black Lives Matter. Okay, well, what about the fact that everybody's way of life matters? No. Okay, but if everyone in the country had a higher standard of living, then wouldn't that be better for everyone? No. Nope. No, nope, 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 nope. It would not be better for everyone. Because there's still that one subset of a group. Oh, that we got to focus on? Yep. Because they're not getting what they deserve. Oh, who is it this time? Well, it's actually three-breasted transsexual men that are Black over the age of 80 that are at least 7 feet tall with naturally occurring red hair. They are very underrepresented in Senate and in the Congress. And I think it's time that we start protesting and we burn down a fucking McDonald's because, I mean, that's a symbol of a corporation. It's like, what? Yeah, let's find a group that represents less than 1% of the people in this country, and let's all focus on that. Okay, but there's this other stuff going on that's actually going to affect generations of people. Yeah, whatever. Don't be transphobic. It's like, okay, can we fix the economy? Oh, you don't care about gay rights? I just want to fix the economy. Oh, you motherfucker. You are not on the side of Ukraine, are you? I've never been to Ukraine. Oh, I see how it is. So you support that dictator, Putin. It's like, what? Well, the problem is that in order for people to use silver, we have to have an economy. And we're destroying the economy worldwide so fast, so deeply, and so permanently right now that I'm not even selling silver. It's not that I would if I could. I'm just not. There's no, what's the point? What's the point in me talking about silver? What's the point in me talking about any of this? If you own silver, good for you. If you don't own it, you're fucked already. But it's done now. Now it's done. Now the only thing I can do to help people, really help people, is finish my survival guide, which thank God I'm almost finished. I've got a couple chapters that I want to edit before I put them in, but I've already finished it. It's the way that I've written it. It's going to be 2 parts, and the second part's free. I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, well, you read that? Okay, well, you know, I just spent $56 on an internet survival guide, and I was, I mean, it made me laugh because it looked really good, and it's a guy, it's this survival raccoon thing on YouTube, and I've watched a couple of the videos, and I thought, you know, you weed out the dumb shit. I know what's dumb. Most people don't. So I weed out that stuff. But then I go through and I go, I've watched 6 hours of this, and I've got, you know, 3 things that I didn't think about. May they make sense because I already got enough knowledge to know that stacked on top of what I know, yeah, that actually, those points make sense. And these other ones, they'll get you killed. So I bought their survival guide. And of course, it's 3 different books. They're ebooks. They're fucking ebooks. So read them over and over and over and over and over and over until you've memorized all 3 of them. Or when you need them the most, which would be the minute that your computer doesn't work anymore, they won't be there. Now, this is a book. This is a book that's got shit in it that's totally irrelevant to you or me. Really doesn't matter to us. But some of it is absolutely fantastic. What weeds I can eat? What? What are you talking about? What weeds I can eat? Yeah, like chickweed, chicory, poison oak. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't say that. I'm just kidding. But here's the point. This is a big ass book. It cost me $60 or $80 or whatever it was to buy the damn thing. Am I going to make you read that whole thing? No. Am I going to make my book an actual hardcover book? Yes. Am I going to make sure that the pages are waterproof? Yeah, what the fuck good is a survival book if it doesn't survive? See what I'm saying? Dandelions. Dandelions are good. Dandelions are good. Here, wait, I gotta put this on before I say that. All right. Dandelions are good. I don't know why I sound like I just smoked 2,500 Marlboros as soon as I put my hat on. One of my hats. These things are $400 nowadays. What the fuck is that? That's ridiculous. But I love cowboy hats. They make good wine. Huh. You know, something about that rings a bell for me, but I don't know why. Like, I know that something about dandelion wine. Anyway, yeah, so here's my point. I can go on and on and on and on and on forever about what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, how to cook it, where to make it, hearth cooking, all that shit. What I want you to do is I want you to survive. Okay? I want you to survive. I have never been more convinced that the shit's going to hit the fan. We're wasting money on things right now that are so completely and utterly irrelevant to the United States of America. Oh, here. I'll put my black one on. I like my black. This is the one I wear outside. As you can see, yeah, the black one's my favorite because it's the one I actually wear a lot, which is why it's dirty. It's embarrassing, actually, a little bit. What the fuck do you expect? I live in the desert, though. Such as, how to survive. I see where you're going there. Okay, so some important things. Most important thing, and I'll say this over and over and over and over and over again 100,000 times. It's the most important thing, and if you've got yourself a big old gun collection and you think you're Billy Badass and you're going to take down the spec ops dudes if they ever showed up because that's how good you are. Like Delta don't know shit compared to you because you went to a community college for gunsmithing. Okay. This applies to you probably more than anybody else. Security through obscurity. Period. If people know where you are, who you are, what you're doing, it's not hard to figure out how many you are, what your strength is, and then, most importantly, figure out if it's worth the fight. What have you got exactly? Well, let me tell you something. If you're a fat fuck 200 days into a power grid down, you're dead. Because anybody who spots you sees that you're fat, and that means you have a tremendous amount of resources. You have so many resources, you don't care about losing weight. You don't care about moderation. Now, do I feel bad calling people fat? No, because I'm fat. So there's only one kind of person gets to use the N-word. There's only one kind of person gets to call people fat and get away with it. That's another fat person. So all you fatty fatzos out there, just understand losing weight is not an option. Because if you've got a whole bunch of people that you're friends with, and you and all of these people have decided you're going to live together harmoniously because you got your neighborhood watch, okay? Now, nobody does this like South Africans. They actually have real neighborhood watches where it's like, I don't know you. You don't live in this neighborhood. Black, white doesn't matter. You don't belong here. So tell me why you're here or eat some lead. Based on that, if you take that and you add it to, the average person in England or the United States, you've got a group of people who live in a certain area. You've all decided to share your resources. Somebody has a well. Somebody has access to, farming, whatever. Everybody else has lost 30 pounds. You and your family have not lost any weight at all. What's the assumption got to be? What is the assumption got to be? Everybody's losing weight because they've all tightened up. They're all concerned about making it through the next fill in the blank, winter. Here in Phoenix, Arizona, gets up to 50-something degrees Celsius. We don't give a shit about winter. I rarely, if ever, wear a jacket. Yeah, I mean, it gets down into the 30s, which, 0 degrees Celsius. But 0 degrees Celsius on a sunny day is really nice. 128 degrees, that's not nice. So we have to worry about how to get through the summer. In a lot of places, you got to worry about how to get through the winter. If this is what's going on, and you and your family are the only ones who haven't lost any weight, everybody has to talk about this. It's going to come up. We have to understand that when something goes bad like this, it's not a matter of things change a little. Your outside environment changes a lot. You have to be prepared to turn on a dime. And when I say turn on a dime, what I mean is you have to be prepared to do whatever is necessary for you and your group, not just you, not just your kids. It's something that unless you were on a very lucky Special Forces team or a very lucky Marine Corps platoon, if you were in one of those specialties and you had a good group of guys, you understand what that feels like. If you're a woman who went through high school and got her degree at a community college and went on with your friends to have margaritas and then you all got married and went your separate directions, you have absolutely zero concept. Doesn't make you a bad person. It means you have zero concept of what it takes to survive. You have to go from personalities to principles. If you don't, you're dead. 150 years ago, somebody's personality was pretty much irrelevant, especially, and it's true to a larger extent with men to this day. Your personality is not the most important thing. Your principles are. Can I trust you? Why do you think men give each other so much shit? We rag on each other constantly. We're constantly needling each other over stuff. Why is that? Find out who the weaklings are. Who gets upset when we make a joke about the fact that their last girlfriend cheated on them with a fat guy with a penis about that big? I mean, what's that mean, buddy? I mean, like, come on. Yeah, that hurts. But you know what? It's true. I'm not going to let him get to me. Nope. Not going to show any weakness. Why not? because you don't want them to show any weakness either. You don't want any weakness. Men can't afford weakness. Now, if you work at Microsoft, can you afford weakness? Hell, man, that's what you do for a living. You backstab each other like a bunch of bitches, and that's what you do for a living. You know, if you're part of this incel community, oh, I'm involuntarily, I don't get any. Wait, you're involuntarily celibate? Yeah. No, no, no. There's no such thing. Involuntarily celibate. So your penis has been detached from your body and thrown into the deepest part of the ocean where you could never possibly retrieve it. Because that's the only way that you could have possibly made me involuntarily celibate in this lifetime. Otherwise, no. I'm finding a girl. I'm getting some. We're having some fun. She can be my girlfriend. Now, do I want to just have sex with girls and dump them and make them feel like shit? No, that's not what men do. Not what real men do. I mean, if you got a huge insecurity, like big hole in your soul, yeah, that's what you do. Because it's never enough. And you got to find another one. Probably better looking if you can, because, you know, that says a lot about you as a human. Whatever. Those guys are ladies' men. There's a man's man and a ladies' man. If you're a ladies' man, you're a piece of shit. I wouldn't pee on you if you were on fire, period. You're a worthless, disgusting little ant. If you're a man's man, you may not be slick. You may not have the personality that, you know, the super cool guys. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Do I think that James Bond is cool? Oh, he's very cool. Would I want my daughter going out with him? I'd break his nose when he came to the door. I don't give a fuck how good he is in martial arts. I'll use a baseball bat on him if I have to. But no, you're not using my daughter for your pleasure there, punk. I know who you are. And, you know, can you blame him? He's a spy. What do spies do for a living? They lie to people. So that's it. Now, the guy comes to the door. He's nervous as hell about meeting me. Yep, I'm going to beat your ass. Just telling you right now, at some point, I can feel it. I'm going to beat your ass. Guy comes to the door. He's excited about meeting me. He's excited. Oh, sorry, I've heard so much about you, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I understand you're into this and that, and your daughter told me a lot, and I'm into it too. And then she walks in the room, and he goes, yep, that's the guy. That's my guy right there. He's not as afraid of me because he knows what he's thinking. He knows what's going through his mind. He knows what's in his heart. He's terrified of her, though. Yeah, we're good. We're good. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's probably a man's man right there, because he's looking for something a lot more than just some, you know, boom, boom time. He wants something real. The guy who calls, who you can call at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, look, man, I hate to bother you. And he goes, no, you don't. You love to fucking bother me. What do you want? Yeah. Well, I sort of hit a deer. And he goes, and you want me to clean it? Not going to happen. You go, no, I just need a ride. A truck won't start. It's all fucked up. He goes, all right, where are you? And you tell him, he goes, you realize you're 92 miles from me right now, right? You go, yeah, I know. He goes, all right, you son of a bitch. You're buying me coffee. Okay. Click. Do you have to worry about whether or not he's going to show up? No. If he gets his leg cut off on the way down the driveway somehow, I don't know how, just a loose cable, he's going to put on a tourniquet and he's going to get in the truck and he's going to come get you. That's a man's man. He is solid. He's reliable. He may not be polished. I've had buddies that just, God, when it came to women, they were so fucking dumb. They said the dumbest things at the wrong, like the most inopportune moments. But you know what? They were solid. And that is the only thing that's going to matter in a grid down situation. This whole thing about cute, clever, oh, he always says the right thing at the right time. Does he do the right thing? Well, I know he loves me. Oh, you feel that, huh? You don't have any proof of it, but you feel it. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Good luck with that. My point is that the two things that I can really share with somebody every single day and never overemphasize. Number one, security through obscurity. Yeah, you're going to hide. Now, does that make you some kind of sissy that you're going to hide? Well, I was such and such. Okay, what? You're a Navy SEAL. Oh, you're Navy SEAL. Some pretty badass little dudes right there. Yep, I was a Navy SEAL. And so what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to hide. But you're a Navy SEAL. Damn right. And Navy SEALs aren't stupid. You don't get to be a Navy SEAL by being stupid. You get to be a Navy SEAL by using your God-given brains to know that if you are with your wife and children, this is no time for a gunfight, man. This ain't a gunfight situation. This is a keep your head down. Let them walk on by. Got nothing to prove. But you don't want the innocents that are with you getting hurt. That's the situation you're in. Now, most guys that have been through, let's just say, the shit, they know this. They don't have anything to prove. Some of the mellowest guys in the world, the hardest guys in the world to provoke are MMA fighters that I've fought with. They're just so mellow most of the time. They're just like, whatever. And you say, oh man, you're a pussy. Yeah, you know what? You're actually right. I had a fucking hangnail, and when they pulled my hang, I swear to God, I cried for a week. Why no reaction? Because they know how tough they are. They know that they may not be the 90 in the 99th percentile, but by God, they're in the 90th percentile. 3-to-1 good, 1-to-1 bad. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're in a situation where, if you just happen to be, it's grid down, and you just happen to be out camping, and let's say you got your buddy. Let's give him a good Scottish name. Andrew McFarland. That's pretty fucking Scottish. Andrew McFarland, who was a Royal Marine, but then he decided that he wanted to be SBS. So he became part of Her Majesty's Special Boat Service. And he did that for a while, and then, he served a couple different places, just privateer kind of thing. And you're camping with him. And then you got your buddy who was a Delta guy for a while, but now he's done. Now that he's old and he's in his mid-30s, he's his knees don't work the way they used to. So and then a couple of your other buddies who were SEALs, and then you got that one Marine Recon, and you got the other buddy who was a Marine Raider, and you're all camping together, and fucking the grid goes down. Guess what? I don't think you've got a lot to worry about. Like, there's not going to be a lot of gunfights that you're going to lose. And that's good for you. But if you were just one of those guys and you had your wife and kids, your attitude would be very different. I'm still selling silver. What's the point right now? Do I think it could go to 70? I think it could go to 60. Now, once it hits 60, will it start back up again? like December and January never happened? Yeah, it will. There's no such thing as bad silver. There's no bad time to buy it because it'll always go up. So if you bought it at 90 and you're kicking yourself in the ass, you won't be kicking yourself in the ass in December. You'll be happy. Now, will it make you 200% in your money by then? No, probably not. And once it hits bottom, I'll start hawking silver all the time again because it is absolutely the safest thing you can possibly have. And right now, based on what is going on in the world, I am absolutely confident that the next step for all of us in what we consider to be the Christian Western European world, whether it's Tom down in Australia or it's France or England or Germany or Finland or here. It doesn't matter where you live. They're gonna be coming after your privacy. And people say all the time, well, we don't have much privacy now. No, we don't. We don't have much privacy. But what's about to happen to us is unlike anything that we could have ever imagined. Anything that you could have imagined. And I saw the other day, I believe it was in Australia, that a woman wearing a T-shirt that said "From the river to the sea" was arrested. She's facing 2 years in prison for wearing a T-shirt that says "From the river to the sea." Now, if you say the rest of that, it's "From the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free." Now, unless you add some more words to that, that in and of itself is not hateful. What they're saying is from the river, Jordan, to the sea, we want freedom. Well, remember the West Bank and Gaza? Those used to be connected by this thing in the middle called Israel, and it was all Palestine. And then all of a sudden, 150 years ago, Jews from around the world started showing up and saying, "Oh, we left a place marker. You didn't see that? No, we left. Look, when you go to the bathroom in a bar, if you have a drink, you put your napkin on your drink, you put your seat up against the bar, you go to the bathroom. When you come back, if somebody's sitting in it, you could say that's my seat." Well, what we did was we put our napkin on top of the temple 2,000 years ago when the Romans said, "Get the fuck out of here." And this time we really mean it. And then we didn't come back. But clearly that was just because the diaspora was us just taking a shit on 109 other countries we got kicked out of. And then we came back here. It's like a globe-trotting thing. We just want to go around the world and share what we're best at. And which is why we're told to come back here. Okay. So is Palestine free? No. Should it be? Well, I can tell you this, none of my business. Really isn't any of my business. But I can also say that I'm not sending anybody over there to die one way or the other. So the idea that I would throw somebody in jail for suggesting that Palestine should be free, that's insane. How can I support Israel, man? I'm Christian. Any Christian that supports Israel is not a Christian. You're not truly Christian. You don't know what Christian means. Jews hate Christ. It says so in the Talmud. It says so. That's not misinformation. That's not me. That's not my opinion. I didn't write the Babylonian Talmud. That was a group of their most respected rabbis that wrote the final opinion of the definitive Jew, what it means to be Jewish, what it truly means, other than, of course, sacrifice, because that is the cornerstone of the religion, is to make sacrifice to God. Without a temple, there can be no sacrifice. Without any sacrifice, there can be no true Jews. See the problem? You have to get rid of that mosque. It has to be torn down or blown up or whatever. But it's got to be gotten rid of. And then you have to rebuild the temple so that you can make sacrifices again. Now, according to Jesus, this fucking guy who came along, who was obviously, according to them, a rebel rabbi who was a false prophet, according to them, who's now burning in a lake of shit, according to them. He came along and said, no more sacrifice. I'm the sacrifice. I'll be the sacrifice. But just so you know, that temple's getting torn down within one generation. It won't stand anymore, and it'll be done forever. And they said, you know what? You're right. You are going to be the next sacrifice, you son of a bitch. They went to the authorities, and the authorities said, like, hey, this is not our problem. This is like a you problem. This is not a we problem, because we don't have a problem with this guy. Because he said the magic words, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. That's all we give two shits about around here. As you know, you can do whatever you want as long as you pay Rome what they ask for in taxes. We don't care what you do. Just don't start any shit. Smells like you're starting some shit. So handle this yourself. And they did. Good night, Charles. Yeah, they did. And by the way, anybody who doesn't understand that they did it on purpose, they did it on Passover. Buy low as much as you can. Eventually it will all go up. Am I wrong? Yeah. Don't they say, yeah. And so right now it's low. Will it go lower? I don't know. It might. Now it might not. Bottom line is this. When we see a few days of it going up and it starts to feel like, okay, we're getting somewhere, I'm going to tell you, jump in with both feet. For now, just hang on. Look, I get it. I'm not making any fucking money. All right? I don't make money unless I sell silver. Does that mean that I'm willing to lie to you and tell you that this is the bottom like everybody else is? No. I'm not willing to do that. Look, I got plenty of top rock. Look, I got 100 pounds of rice sitting right there. I'll be okay. I mean, you can tell by I got more chins than a Chinese phone book right now. I went and lost 40 pounds, and then, man, did I find it. Kind of lost my marbles there for a second. I was very stressed out about some stuff. And now there's nothing to be stressed out about other than the obvious, which is the world's ending. But, you know, the reality is that there's been a lot of civilizations that have come and gone. Sometimes when you're holding on to that number one spot really, really hard, and you think that the most important thing in the world is to be number one. And then all of a sudden, one day you look back and you're number 3, number 4, number 6. And you go, man, so much less stressful now. What does that mean? What's it mean not to be number one? What does that really mean to us if we're not the number one? I don't know. Does that mean that we get subjugated and turned into slaves? No. Does that mean that China comes over here and invades us with a bunch of ships? No. So who's going to take over the United States if we're not the number one economy in the world? Well, nobody. The Germans? No. Who's going to do that? We've got oil. We've got water. We've got all the resources that we need. We've got all the minerals. We've got everything we need right here. So what if we just stop fucking around and make peace with Canada, I get it. I get it. They're trying to flex on us. That's very cute. 3 million idiots up there trying to flex on 330 million. But whatever, they'll come around. Mexico, I get it. Right now, it's a viper's den of horrifically dangerous, ultra wealthy people with a tremendous amount of power, run by a lady named Scheinbaum. If that doesn't tell you who's really in charge of putting drugs into the United States. Keep something in mind. I want you to never, ever forget this, because this came from Benjamin Netanyahu's own mouth. Rome destroyed Judaism. Remember that. Romans destroyed their temple, took away their homeland, scattered them to the four winds like a bunch of leaves. Who's Rome? Because they believe that Rome still exists and they want their revenge against Rome. Rome, my friends, is Christianity. It's Western Europe. It's the United States of America. That's Rome. And that is exactly what Benjamin Netanyahu said. I saw him say it more than once because the clip went viral for quite a while. He said, the first time we lost to Rome. The United States is Rome. This time we're not going to lose. Really? Are we at war? I didn't think we were at war. Yeah, we are. We're at war. We're at war. Judeo-Christian values? I was taught that that was a thing when I was a child. Oh, your Judeo-Christian values. There's no such thing as Judeo-Christian. There's Judeo or there's Christian. Do Christians hate Jews? No. Do Jews hate Christians? Yeah, they do. No. Oh, no. Yeah, well, you can't separate the crown from Christianity. Yeah. Just watch. I mean, watch a coronation, watch anything. No, the crown, the British crown, is deeply embedded in Christianity. And the Jews watched the Roman Empire literally make Christianity happen. Christianity was outlawed. Christianity was looked down upon. And in the best of times, Roman emperors put up with it because it seemed harmless. And then, just like that, after 300 years, just poof. Constantine says, you know what? No, we're good with it. We're good with it. We're going to make a few adjustments, like Saturday, not the holy day, Sunday. Why Sunday? Well, because my guys already worship Sunday because they worship the sun. Oh. Yeah, okay. It's not a big deal. We can do that. Okay, good. So the seventh day, the Sabbath, will now be Sunday. Yeah, I don't think Jesus would have cared at all about that. Jews care about that. Oh, they fucking care about it. But again, when Jesus came, it's like, look, you can't eat pork. Why not? Because it says in the Old Testament, it says in the Torah. Okay, but why? Because it defiles you. And what did Jesus so famously say? It's not what you put into your mouth that will defile you. It's what comes out of your mouth that will defile you. So be very careful with what you say to people and accept whatever is offered to you. Be a gracious guest. Oh, actually, that makes good sense. Like if I'm going to go into your house and I'm going to tell you this great news about Jesus, and you say, well, here, have a pork chop. And I go, oh my God, you pig, what are you doing? I can't believe you would eat that, you fucking non-human. Is not the best way to make friends. Okay, so what about this? Now, when people say to me, hey, this whole thing about, yeah, the synagogue of Satan, it's true, Tom. But when people say to me, what about like a cheeseburger? Having meat and cheese on the same plate. What the fuck? Like, why do the Jews care about that? Well, actually, that is botulism. There's a real good explanation for some of this stuff. Like back in the day, they didn't realize like you put raw meat on a plate that's made of wood and you let it soak in, and then all of a sudden it's like you could get botulism. So you don't mix stuff up. Okay, well, what about now? Well, now it's totally irrelevant. So why don't they eat cheeseburgers now? Because some dumb shit wrote it down 2,500 years ago. Yeah, but now we know the truth. Don't ever let truth get in the way of an old, archaic, backwards religion. Is that what I'm saying Judaism is? No, that's what I'm saying almost all religions are. They're all backwards. They were written thousands of years ago. Oh, well, what about Mormonism? Even Mormonism made some mistakes, and they're relatively new. We can agree on that. What about this? You're not allowed to have caffeine. Really? 1 cup of coffee and 20 minutes of walking a day reduces the chances of getting Alzheimer's or Parkinson's by 45%. Period. Okay, well, now wait a minute. So caffeine's good for you? Well, coffee, tea, yeah, they're very good for you, especially green tea, antioxidants. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to switch that around at some point. Yeah. I guarantee you, I will be the first one to open a bunch of coffee shops in Salt Lake City when the word of that comes down. But my point is this: they're a relatively new religion. Will they admit that science can affect the outcomes of what they teach? Yeah, because they recognize science. Wait a minute. I thought Jews had the highest IQs. Yeah, that's actually a fact. And they're scientists. Yeah. And they still believe that weird shit. Yeah. Apparently. Either that or they're lying. Could they be lying? God forbid somebody in a religion ever lied. Who knows? I do know this, though, that pork's bad, foreskins, it's okay. Yeah, there's a lot there that makes you want to puke. But again, my job is not to judge Israel. My job is not to judge Jews. My job is to say, look, guys, we've had a relationship here for quite some time. It's not working out. It's not us, it's you. I'd love to tell you it's us, but it's not us. We're doing everything right and you're doing everything wrong. You're pushing us, you're abusing us, you're lying, you're cheating, you're stealing from us. So go away. That's all. I don't hate you, but I don't want you near me. Go away. God bless you. Go away. Now, what's wrong with that? I say that we don't have to overreact like the Germans did. That was a bit of an overreaction. like the pogroms of, well, 109 countries that have kicked Jews out. Over the last 2,000 years, 109 separate countries have kicked Jews out. Clearly, they have a relationship issue. Like if a girl comes to me and I think she's hot, and let's face it, if you've ever seen some of these Israeli soldiers, holy fucking smokes. Like Wonder Woman was an IDF sniper. Jesus, shoot me in the leg. Well, wait, no, she actually could. Never mind. My point is this. You're talking to your new gal and you say, hey, listen, I know body count's a thing, and I don't, I look at a lot of different factors. That's not the only thing I care about, but they say that men worry about a woman's past and women worry about a man's future. And that in a lot of ways, that's very true. So I'm just curious, like, how many other countries have you seen or been inside of? And let's say that this religion that looks like Wonder Woman says, well, couple I've had couple now I've had 109. You've been inside 109 other countries. Wow. That's a hell of a body count. You've been kicked out of all of them? Yep. Under threat of death. Like they told me, get out or we'll kill you. Unless you convert to Christianity. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's interesting. And then imagine that this girl that you're dating, this girl that looks like Wonder Woman, because she's IDF, let's say this girl says to you, well, how many countries have you been kicked out of? And you go, for being Christian? She says, yeah, just for being, not because of businesses or stuff like that, just because of, because of the way Christians act. None. I imagine it would be really interesting because she'd be like, wait, never been kicked out of a country for being Christian? You never had your people kicked out for being Christian? No, not in 2,000 years. Well, what about the Vikings? No, actually, the Vikings, they gave us a little bit of crap at first, but then actually they converted faster than any other group of people ever. Like the entire Viking culture pretty much converted in one generation. Really. Yeah, sorry. Be weird, right? Is it safe to buy silver nowadays? I mean, I'd wait for a couple days, keep watching, I'll keep talking, but I'm saying that, we're a few days away. I'd like to see it stabilize a little bit. It could go technically, it could go to 60. That's the technical analysis. So if you want the technical analysis, that's it. If you want the reality is that war should make gold and silver go up. Uncertainty should. Problem is, we're destroying things right now on a level that nobody gets. I mean, it's hard. I don't know how to explain. Well, I mean, okay, look, I'll use this. I'll explain it this way. Okay, so we've got, let's turn it so that it's facing you guys. Okay. So we got this little teeny tiny, where the hell is it? Way over here. Okay, so let's turn that so you guys can see it. Oh, it's this sphere. Dumbass. Okay, so we got the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, so on one side you got Iran, on the other side you got Saudi, you got Qatar here. We used to call it Qatar. Now they call it Qatar for some reason. I don't know why. It's not even that they're being manipulated. Exactly. It's not to scale. But the reality is Iran is a damn big country. So there's that. But you've got this crazy thing that happens where they hit the gas fields over here in Iran, which are actually connected, believe it or not, directly connected to the gas fields in Qatar. It's actually the same gas field. That's how big it is. It's the world's largest gas field. It is enormous. So the Israelis, without our knowledge or consent, according to the president of the United States, who was super pissed about this, the Israelis decided, you know what, let's up the ante. Let's make this war worse than it already is. Let's draw in the Americans as deeply as we possibly can. So they did something that stunned everybody. They hit the gas fields in Iran. Now, they already hit the oil fields in Iran, and everybody got pissed because it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Iran's made it very clear that they're not willing to do this. Like, this is a tit for tat. But if you hit their oil fields, they're going to hit their neighbors' oil fields. So do we really want to do this? And of course, the answer was no. No. Like, this is infrastructure that the whole world needs. This isn't just about Iran and Israel anymore. This has never been about us, by the way. Any idiot knows that now. Oh, well, they killed 30,000 people. How do you know that? Well, because the news told me that. Oh, really? The news told you that they had no nuclear program last year because we obliterated it. Well, but that was wrong. Oh, but this is right. The reason we went in there is because they killed 30,000 of their own people. Okay, well, I guess it's time to go into China. When are we invading China? They've been killing Uyghurs by the hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Millions of people disappear in China every year. Just poof, disappear. What are we doing about that? Nothing? Well, then, why not? Oh, well, that's different. Okay, well, at least 10,000 people a year disappear from Mexico. And that's right on our border. Some of them are American citizens. Nope, not doing anything about that. Oh, but Iran, well, yeah, because Iranians are sweet. They're lovable, and they're because we needed to help them. Okay, I hope that wasn't bullshit, because if that was just propaganda, they're not going to be happy with us in bombing the shit out of their country. It's not about the oil. That's the problem. That's the easy one. It's not even about selective world police. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of Israel. We do what we're told by our masters. When they say they're God's chosen people and that we are less than them because we are Gentiles, they're not joking. That's not a joke. That's not a we feel like we're so superior to you guys. No, it's basically a burden that they have to carry. That's how they look at it, is like God made us superior to the Goyim, to the Gentiles. Now, we, in our rightful place as the masters of earth, we must take care of these animals. They look like us, but they're not us. They actually have the crazy, but they have a theory that there are two different types of souls. This is the Jews that believe this. There is the animal soul, which all animals have, whether it's a mouse or an elephant or a whale or a dolphin or a chimpanzee. As smart as they are, we all have the same soul. Well, when I say we, and then Gentiles. And then humans have a human soul. They have a completely different word for their soul, which is a human soul. I'm not making this up. This isn't misinformation. This is what they are taught about us, about me, that I am less than human. Okay, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I am less than human. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. You're going to go start your wars and you're going to fight your wars. You're going to win or lose your wars. They're yours. And I, as a Gentile, and my other Gentile friends we'll fight our own wars if we have to. If we don't have to, we won't. But we're not going to fight wars for you anymore. Now, the question is, how many weapons of mass destruction were there in Iraq? We fought in Afghanistan for 20 years. Was Saddam Hussein in Afghanistan? No. Was Osama bin Laden in Iraq? No. What the fuck were we doing over there? Who exactly asked us to go over there and destroy those countries? Because that's all we did. We just destroyed the countries. Israel. At the end of the last century, they were talking about all the different places that they would go destroy. They said Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria. Well, guess what? There were a couple others. Yemen was one of them. But yeah, Iraq, Afghanistan. Okay, we destroyed Syria. We destroyed that one. What else? Yemen. It's pretty much off the map now. Hey, there's one left. There's only one that we didn't destroy for our masters in Israel. And now here we are. So we've destroyed so much of the world's supply of gas because after Israel decided, fuck it, we're going cowboy on these guys. We're going to do this all by ourselves. They blew up the gas fields before we could say a word. Iran said, okay, brothers, we promised. We told you what we were going to do. You want to go? Let's fucking go. And they hit Qatar's gas. You just blew up and annihilated and destroyed for at least 10 years the number 1 and number 2 natural gas fields on Earth. Gone. Gone. Well, Saudi Arabia can't really pump anything out of the Strait of Hormuz, but luckily for them, they have the Trans-Arabian Pipeline, which runs all the way over to the Red Sea on the other side of Saudi Arabia, and then they can go out that way, right? No, not now. Because the other thing Iran did is they said, oh, Qatar, you're allowing this shit to happen. You're not putting any pressure on Israel because you're bought bitches. So we're going to knock out your gas the way they knocked out our gas. And, oh, Saudi Arabia, you didn't think we could hit that side of your country? You ran that pipeline across to the Red Sea just in case? Hold my beer. Yeah. They blew up the pumping station at the far end of the pipeline. We are in it so deep. We are in it so fucking deep now You don't just grab gas, you just grab oil out of the ground and presto, changeo, it's gasoline. China and Japan are right now looking at the abyss. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, fuck those guys. They're not us. Japan has been our staunchest ally for 80 years. Literally, since we kicked their ass, they said, all right, you know what? It was a good fight. It's a fair fight. You won. What do you want us to do? Most amazing turnaround I've ever seen. They said, okay, look, you're better than us. We admit that. Not culturally. Come on. Don't get crazy. But structurally, you're better than us. You tell us what you want. We did. And guess what? They did it. We said, look, just copy us. They said, okay, we'll copy you. Can we copy the Swiss with watches? Sure, absolutely. I got a Swiss watch here, or a Seiko. My Seiko watch is as good as any Rolex ever made. Well, then what's the difference? Well, my Seiko only cost me $500, $600. That's it. Oh no, it's actually quartz and it's solar. So unlike a Rolex, I don't have to wear it and wind it all the time. Now, granted, it doesn't, like when somebody sees it, they don't go, oh, wow, man, you got money. No, when you have money, you don't necessarily want people to know you have money, unless you're living in a nice city in a safe place. Then showing off if you're trying to get laid is great. Good for you. Good for you. Or if you're doing some kind of very special work in a very special part of the world where you necessarily might need to leave the country under duress and you happen to have a Rolex is almost certainly going to get you over that border. Not a lot of guards will say no to a Rolex. So if that's the kind of work you're in, if that's the kind of freelance shit you do, then, yeah, you wear a Rolex. Makes sense. So what have we learned? Well, we're in deep shit. We're in really deep shit. We went to war for Israel. We're going to suffer tremendously for Israel. I don't see why. I don't understand why. But maybe, just maybe, if we vote for absolute 100% zero lobbying, if we vote for people who promise us in writing that they will not take any money from lobbyists, AIPAC included, perhaps we could start to turn this around. No guarantees, but maybe. But we have to. Like this election cycle, these midterms, these are the most important midterms that we've ever had. Because what we've seen in the last few months, the protection of ultra wealthy Epstein class pedophiles, the people who consider themselves above us and above the law. And then directly we flip-flopped into war with Israel. Now, why did we follow Israel into this war? If you don't think it's because of the Epstein files, you're insane. They are directly, completely related. Period. I don't know what's going to take over, but it's certainly not going to be the petrodollar. I mean, if you can't trust America, how can you trust American dollars? So they'll start easing out of them. It'll take 10 years to do, but they're going to start easing out of them. It'll definitely happen in my lifetime, and I'll be glad. I'll be glad. I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm done being the world's police. I'm done being in charge of the entire world. I'm done telling every country that's our friend and every country that's not our friend who, when, where, how, what. I'm tired of telling them that their idealistic bullshit about sharing the wealth with their own people. That's not how it works. I got CEOs that need golden parachutes. You're going to do what I say. No. Well, this is maybe where we stop trying to stop him, because at this point, Israel's in charge. Israel's in charge of the world right now. The entire world is holding its breath, and Israel has a gun pointed to our head. Let's see what they do. Because this, when people talk about the end times, I never thought it'd happen this fast. And I went from everything's fine to this could be global instantaneously. There's no guarantee. There's no assurance even that I'll wake up tomorrow. I got kids. I don't like that. So I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to talk every night about it. I'm going to go out. I'm going to make noise. I'm going to do everything I can to try to change it. We have to understand that the only weakness in all of this super elite, better than now bullshit is a vote. That's it. And if we can primary these fuckers and we can make sure that they don't get to just sit back and relax. Oh, I made it into office. Unless I got pictures of me and a 12-year-old boy naked in bed together, I stay in office till I die. No, not anymore. No, that was the old U.S. citizen. Those are the old boomers. The young boomers, the 55 to 65 crowd, and then the Generation Xers. Oh, we hate you fuckers. We hate you. We hate the government. And if we can grab your tits and twist as hard as possible, we're gonna. Trust me, if I could use pliers on them nips of Congress, I would. Maybe on a couple teeth too. Term limits, absolutely. But most importantly, no more lobbying starting right now. No more lobbying starting now. Right fucking now. That's the most important thing. No lobbying. And then, of course, we've also got to start working on people like Pam Bondi, who used to work at a lobbying firm, and now she's protecting them. She used to work at a firm that lobbied to make sure that glyphosate, which is extremely toxic, is still sold on the shelves everywhere you go worldwide. Why? She doesn't work for them anymore. Why would she care? Why would she get the president of the United States to sign an executive order that says that Roundup, something that Kennedy said was absolutely cancer causing, no question. Why would we protect Roundup? National security. What? This fucking system's so crooked. Patel's one of the worst. One of the worst. So that's what we got to talk about. That's what we got. We can't let go. Can't let go. This has got to be the most important thing we do with our lives. Like surviving, paying the rent, making enough money to get by, all that shit. That's just what we do. That's what we've done pretty much our whole fucking lives. Let's face it, guys. We busted our ass so that we could survive our whole lives. So that's what we're going to keep doing. But now we've got a mission. Now we've got a purpose. Now we've got a reason to get up in the morning. And that is to get these motherfuckers out of power. You think I'm funny, Lindsey Graham? You think it's fun to talk about killing Russians? You coward, you fucking ghoul. You ever killed anybody? It's not fucking fun. It's not a joke. It's a job. And it's not the most fun job either, but it's something you have to do if you truly believe that your country's threatened. It's not something you do for fun, fucking ghoul. Eat dandelion root and flower. Not bullshitting. Roundup kills it. It's not a weed. No, it's definitely not a weed. Definitely not. Dandelions are definitely not weeds. Hell, half the stuff we call weeds are actually like milk thistle and stuff like that. I mean, come on, guys. We're being bullshitted by a group of people who are making money on making us sick. And if that doesn't piss you off enough to make you want to stick your foot in somebody's ass, well, God bless you. You know, sheep get sheared. It's what they do. It's why they're here. You know, yeah, it's not my gig. I'm more of a bull in a china shop, and I'm okay with that. You know, I kind of like me. So I'm going to keep doing what I do. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. My kid and I are going to go eat because we're both hungry. So